Another front on which the Muslims of Indian subcontinent tried to reform their condition, to uplift their condition, and to revive them as a nation was the educational front. Various educational movements were fought and launched by the Muslims of Indian subcontinent at that time for the uplift of Muslims of India. Basically, it was the time that of the war of 1857, the war of independence 1857 had ended in disaster. The Mughal Empire was liquidated and direct British rule was established on the Indian subcontinent. Queen was now the British Queen, the Queen of Britain was now the Queen of India. The British had put the entire responsibility on the Muslims of this revolt or the mutiny, and therefore took severe action against the Muslims to eliminate them from the society. The British, in convenience with the Hindus, adopted a policy to ruin the economic conditions of the Muslims. Um, they tried to segregate the Muslims from getting educational admissions into educational institutions. At that time, this was the darkest period of Muslims of Indian subcontinent, and at that time there were some leaders who knew that the backwardness in social and economic conditions was the main reason was that they lack education as well, and if they work on their educational uplift, they will be in a better position uh, to face the atrocities of the British. So, first educational movement, which had already been discussed in detail in a separate lecture, is the Aligarh movement. This Aligarh movement was launched by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who was born in October 1817 in Delhi. He was well versed in Holy Quran, in Arabic, in Persian literature, as well as had acquired excellence in history, mathematics, and medicine. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan had served under various positions under the various positions of British East India Company, and later on he focused on the educational uplift of the Muslims of Indian subcontinent. The educational movement led by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan established various educational institutions at Muradabad, at Ghazipur. Scientific society was established. The political services were rendered. Religious services included the writing of the book Life of Muhammad and Tabinul Kalam. And Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was responded to the book of William Muir, Life of Muhammad, with his own works, and he had highlighted the services and the reformation made by Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the general uplift of humanity. The political services of Aligarh movement is that most of the graduates of Aligarh Muslim University later on participated in the freedom movement of Indian subcontinent. After the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's Aligarh movement, we have different other movements as well for the educational uplift of Muslims of Indian subcontinent. The most important among them is Darul Uloom Devband. This Tehreek-e Devband, or the institution established by this Tehreek-e Devband, was Darul Uloom Devband. It all started with the establishment of a madrasa at Deoband for religious education. The madrasa was named as Darul Uloom Devband. It was started at a small town of Saharanpur, and it began functioning in 1866 in a small mosque. The foundation of this Devband movement was, and this madrasa was, that Maulana Shib, the foundation stone was laid, or the idea of this movement was laid by the Maulana Shabir Ahmad Usmani's father, Maulvi Fazlur Rahman, and Maulana Muhammad Mahmudul Hassan's father, Maulvi Zulfikar Ali. They laid the foundation stone at a small mosque at Deoband in 1866 or 67. The first teacher of this institution was Maulvi Muhammad Yaqub, and the first student of this movement this institute was Maulana Mahmudul Hasan. Um, Haji Muhammad Abid basically floated the idea of the establishment of a madrasa education. Um this institute was organized and run by a managing committee including Maulana Muhammad Qasim, Maulana Fazlur Rahman, Maulana Zulfikar Ali, and uh, Mullah Muhammad Mahmud. Along with Maulana Muhammad Yaqub, who was a leading educationist, and he was appointed the headmaster of that time. Maulana Muhammad Qasmi later on joined this institution, and the quick development of and the success of this institution was mainly due to him. Along with him, Maulana Maulana Muhammad Qasim Nanotwi, he left the government service and joined this institute for the promotion of Muslims, and he was supported by his various friends. Maulana Muhammad Qasim was supported by and helped by Maulana Muhammad Yaqub and other eminent persons like Sheikhul Hind Maulana Mahmudul Hasan and Maulana Shabir Ahmad Usmani. They were great religious educationists, and they imparted religious education to these institutes. Uh, the prominent teachers of this religious institution included Shah Abdul Rahim, Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi, Maulana Hussain Ahmad Madni, Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi, Sheikhul Hind Maulana Mahmudul Hasan, Maulana Abdul Haq, Maulana Shabir Ahmad Usmani, Maulana Ubaidullah Sindhi, uh, Mufti Kifayatullah, Maulana Ahmad Ali Lahori, Maulana Mufti Muhammad Shafi, Shamsul Ulama, Maulana Tajwar Nakiyawadi, Maulana Ehtashabul Haq Thanvi. These are some of the famous teachers of this institute. Among the famous students of this institutes are Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi. He later on became the head of this institution as well. The famous students of this institution included Maulana Muhammad Yaqub, Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi, Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi, Mahmudul Hasan, Anwar Shah Kashmiri, Maulana Hussain Ahmad Madni, and Maulana Shabir Ahmad Usmani. Later on, all were all the pious men of that time, and they had served this institution. Um, Among the services of or the political trends of this movement are concerned, Devpan movement was influenced by Indian National Congress in the political trend. There were two main groups. One group was the Thanvi group, who later on set up Jamiatul Ulama Islam and supported Pakistan movement, and the other group was the Madani group, led by Maulana Hussain Ahmad Madni and Kifayatullah. They were influenced by the doctrines of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and they were against the partition of Indian subcontinent. Darul Uloom Devband was next to Azhar University at that time. The system of education included, which was followed by Madrasa Rahimiya, the madrasa of Shah Waliullah's father, and in this institution, teaching of hadith and religious discipline was the main area of expertise and specialization. Regular academic groups were created, maintenance of academic register was done, written examination was held in this institution. The differences between Darul Uloom Devband and Aligarh is that Darul Uloom Devband was opposite to the policy of reconciliation with the British, which was the policy of the Aligarh. The second difference is that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan had advised the Muslims to keep away from Congress politics, whereas the followers of Devban, like Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi, was of the idea that Muslims should take part in the politics and they should join Congress as well. The anti-British attitude was a marked feature of Devban, whereas Aligarh was not anti-British. It was following the policy of cooperation. With regard to the educational differences. The Aligarh was promoting Western style of education and English teaching with modern subjects, whereas the Deoband was strictly advising all the Muslims of that time to focus on Islamic and religious learnings. This movement laid stress on the religious disciplines only. Uh, in 1906, Jamaatul Insar was established at Deoband. Sahibzada Aftab Ahmad Khan of Aligarh College attended the meeting of organization, and both the leadership agreed that Darul Uloom Deoband would make special arrangements for the teaching of religious subjects at the graduates of Aligarh College, and similar arrangements would be extended by the Aligarh College to teach English and Western subjects to the students who were taking admission in Deoband. In the view of this agreement, a central institution was formed with the name of Jamiyat-e Millia, Jamia Millia, also known as, and this was established in Delhi in 1920, and this institution included many features of both Aligarh as well as of Deoband. The next educational movement is the Nadwatul Ulama Lucknow. The movement basically was a central or balanced approach combining both the features of Western as well as religious trends in education, and to counter the extremist view of Deobandi as well as Aligarh could be minimized, and a balanced approach should be promoted for the Muslims. In 1892, it was decided that an institution should be established, and at Kanpur, the objective of this institution was that to guide and prepare the Muslims well equipped in both the knowledges, the religious knowledge as well as the modern education. The founders of Nadwa included Maulvi Abdul Ghaffur, who was the deputy collector, and Sayyid Muhammad or Maulvi Muhammad Ali Kanpuri. They were the earliest founders. Maulana Shibli Nomani later on was associated with Nadwa. He and Maulana Abdul Haq prepared the rules and regulations of Nadwa and chalked out a liberal program which was to put an end to the extremist elements prevailing at that time. There were four main objectives of Nadwa. The first um, and foremost objective was establishment of a Darul Uloom at Lucknow. The second objective was promoting religious knowledge and moral uplift along with social regeneration of Muslims. The third was to work for the elimination of sectarian differences, and the fourth one was to keep aloof from the political activity. The Muslims should not take part in the political activities. Darul Uloom Nadwa is famously known because of the services of Maulana Shibli. Maulana Shibli was born in 1857. He was a well-versed Islamist, a scholar. He had served at Aligarh College as an assistant professor of Arabic, but he left Aligarh due to differences. When he resigned from Aligarh, he joined Nadwatul Ulama Lucknow. He introduced a number of changes in the curriculum on the basis of his experience at Aligarh. He introduced the study of English language as a compulsory subject at this institution. Um, this institution is famously known because of the establishment of academy of authors, Darul Musannifin. This Darul Musannifin had produced various scholars, and it had also published a research journal with the title of Marif. The administrative structure of this included Maulana Abdul Hai, Nawab Hussain Ali Khan, and Dr. Sayyid Abdul Ali. They all succeeded Maulana Shibli as administrators of Nadwa. The Shibli's resignation led to the new reforms in this institution. The Nadwatul Ulama produced great men with high academic and intellectual foresight. Among the famous students of this institution included Sayyid Suleiman Nadwi, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Maulana Abdul Salam Nadwi, and Masood Alam Nadwi. They all contributed intellectually and religiously for the uplift of Muslims of Indian subcontinent. The next is Anjuman-e Himayat-e-Islam. The focus of Anjuman-e Himayat-e-Islam was Punjab. Punjab was ruled by Sikhs at that time, and it was an institute which was lacking education at that time. The educational reforms of Muslims of Punjab demanded the setting up of Anjuman-e Himayat-e-Islam at Lahore. The Anjuman-e Himayat-e-Islam was established in 1884 at a mosque known as Masjid Bakan Khan inside Mochi Gate, Lahore. And Qazi Khalifa Hamiduddin laid the foundation of this institution. He became his first president as well. Apart from Khalifa Hamiduddin, Dr. Muhammad Deen Nazir and Munshi Abdul Rahim, along with Maulvi Ghulamullah, Munshi Chiragdeen, and Haji Mir Shamsuddin and Khan Najmuddin. These were the prominent workers of Anjuman. Um, this the workers of Anjuman, they raised funds for the financial stability of this institution, and the scheme known for this fundraising was Muthi Bhar Aata. The scheme was to start with the collection of funds from this for this Anjuman, and under this scheme every woman was asked to spare a handful of flour at the time of cooking and uh, accumulate it in a pot. The Anjuman workers every day collected that flour and sold it in the market. The money they collected from this was deposited in the funds, and with the passage of time the system changed, and people started generously donations, giving donations to the Anjuman fund. The main objectives included establishment of educational institutions where modern education could be given, effectively encounter the propaganda of Christian missionaries, and to look after Muslim orphan children, to support them in education, to establish Muslim society on sound and stable foundations, to strive for social and cultural progress of Muslims, and to organize the Muslim masses politically for the safeguard of Islam. The educational services rendered by this movement was the establishment of various schools, primarily for girls, later on with the boys, for the boys as well. The Anjuman followed the pattern of Aligarh. Various educational institutions were set up in 1884. Two schools were opened. Later on, they rose to the number 15 within 10 years. 1925, a girls' school was opened, which was later on upgraded to the level of a high school in a year. For female colleges, Islamia College for Women was established in 1838. Later on, MA classes in Arabic and geography were started in 1942-43 respectively. For male college, in 1889, first institution was established at Lahore. Primary school was called Madrasatul Muslimin. It was upgraded to the middle and high school. The school is later on was later on known as Islamia High School. In 1892, male college was established at Islamia High School at Lahore. Later on, Islamia College Railway was established. The college building was completed in 1913. Amir Habibullah Khan of Afghanistan laid the foundation stone of that college. An orphan home was also established. Law colleges were established. Annual meetings were held every year by important personalities like Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Allama Iqbal, Nawab Mohsin ul Mulk, Maulana Altaf Hussain Hali, Justice Shahideen, and Sheikh Abdul Qadir. They all awoke national spirit among the people and created awareness among the interests of the people. The political services of this movement was that most of the leadership of the freedom movement, of the Pakistan movement, had worked under these, were the alumni of these institutions. The students of Islamia College had great role in freedom struggle. Muslim Student Federation was set up under the leadership of Hamid Nizami. Uh, Later on, they assisted Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The two nation theory was propagated from there as well. The next is Sindh Madrasatul Islam. Sindh Madrasatul Islam is located at Karachi. This Sindh Madrasatul Islam was again influenced by Aligarh. Sayyid Hassan Ali Afandi laid the foundation stone of this madrasa in a small building near Bolton Market in 1885. Sindh Madrasatul Islam was later on inaugurated in 1866 by Lord Dufferin as well. After the death of Hassan Ali, his son Wali Muhammad succeeded him as the administrator, and he was a successful administrator. He successfully acquired the government patronage for the madrasa. The administrative and teaching patrons were drafted on the style of Aligarh, propagated the modern education at that time. Wali Muhammad was succeeded by his son Hassan Ali in 1938. After his death, Hassan Ali, he pulled out the madrasa from the government control. The administrative board of madrasa decided to make it Sindh Muslim College, SM College, in 1943. The alumni of this institute included Sir Ghulam Hussain Hidayatullah, Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Sir Shah Nawaz Bhutto. These are the prominent graduates of this institution. This institution also played an important role in the freedom movement. This is the reason that Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, in his will, had donated a sizable portion of his property to this Sindh Muslim College. Qaeda-e-Azam received his early education from this institution. The Sindh Madrasatul Islam took active part in freedom movement and became a center of two-nation theory in the freedom struggle. The next among them, or the last among them, is Islamia College Peshawar. It was again influenced by Aligarh movement. The region Khyber Pakhtunkhwa was educationally backward as compared to that of other regions. A mission school was opened known as Edward College in Peshawar in 1888, but most of the people, they were not taking admission in this educational institution. So therefore Sahibzada Abdul Qayyum, for the uplift of Muslims of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, has started his efforts, and Anjuman-e-Himayat Islam was established in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, which opened school in 1902 known as Islamia College Peshawar. Later on, this educational institute set up committee in 1912 to collect funds for the establishment of an educational institution, and a lot of land was acquired where Darul Uloom Islamia was established. Sir Sahibzada, along with his English friend, established this Darul Uloom. Haji Sahib of Torangzai, who was a great leader of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, he laid the foundation stone of this institution. In the beginning, this was a high school. Later on, it was converted, upgraded into a college, and name was given Islamia College Peshawar. This Islamia College Peshawar later on produced a lot of students who helped Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah in the freedom movement. Sahibzada Abdul Qayyum was responsible for running the administrative affairs of this college. He remained secretary of the college administrative board till his death. He was elected as president of All India Mohammedan Educational Conference, and he is also known as Sir Sayyid of Ahmad Khan of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The students and teachers of Islamia College Peshawar took active part in the freedom movement. Therefore, because of these educational reforms and educational movements, along with the revival and resistance movements, Muslims were able to get a separate homeland for their own sake and for the protection of, for the safeguard of their own rights.